Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering, okay, Consul RTT is great, and I love that I can sort based on round-trip time estimates when I'm querying some of the web endpoints. But all of that necessitates my applications and services being console aware. What if I have legacy apps? How can I get them to be able to interact with this round-trip time information? And now that we have multiple data centers, I'm also starting to wonder, how could I possibly do something like failover? I've got a really neat demo to show you how to do this. First, let's just step through what I mean by failover across data centers and how this will play into DNS so that we have support for legacy applications as well. So let's say that we have our two data centers here. And let's hypothetically say that these two data centers are connected to each other. So we've got some connection here, represented by these gray boxes, whereby our networks can talk to each other across data centers. And of course, we'll need that for the servers to be able to pool together and create the WAN gossip pool. But let's assume we also have that for all of our agents. So we have this pipe, perhaps a VPN, between our data centers. And even though these data centers are across the country, if something goes wrong in New York City, and we lose all of our New York City web services, then we would like, if a request comes into the New York City load balancer, we would like that request to just bypass the servers, come through this private connection, and get routed up, if possible, to one of the services running in the San Francisco data center. So in the case where we lose all of our local services, we'd like to use remote services. And we would also prefer to use the closest remote services. And that's where these round-trip time estimates can come into play and be very helpful. Now, fortunately, you don't have to do any of the calculations yourself because Consul has this concept of a prepared query that can allow us to describe these rich scenarios like this, where we primarily focus on using local services and then shift to remote if we lose all of our local services. A nice failover strategy. So let's see how we can set this up with a prepared query. And then we'll also see how we can access that prepared query via DNS so we can make this available to legacy applications as well.